So in this episode, we're going to talk about those silly ass TV shows. You know, the ones we're talking about, not the Kardashians necessarily or the real cunty housewives of Florida, but the other ones. The ones that are on subjects like ghost hunting or Curse of Oak Island or, you know, those kinds of things. Aliens. Yeah.
Cryptozoology,
Yeah. Yeah.
like
Um,
panoramic,
right.
fucking charlatans.
Yes.
Hurrah!
Yeah. Well, okay. So I feel bad saying charlatans because a lot of these people aren't necessarily charlatans. Some of them are, some of them aren't. But you get the idea. You
The-
get where we're going with this. It's it's History Channel after like 9 o'clock.
They're like
Ancient. Your
3:30.
Well, yeah. Your ancient aliens, your Skinwalker Ranch, your all these types of
Mountain
shows.
Monster, Mad Men,
Right. And we each
Finding
have a
Bigfoot.
few that we've reviewed in the past or currently for this episode. That so he'll have a few that he's going to talk about. I'll have a few that I'm going to talk about, and we're just going to have a discussion on these shitty ass
Yeah,
TV
talk
shows.
about like
So join us or I'll kill you. Um anyways, so let's kick it off. This type of show,
right.
what are the big elements of this show? What are the devices that these shows use to keep you interested?
Okay. Well, they usually, my opinion, it starts off with the beginning. In the beginning, there's always a narrator. And
Mhm.
it says in this episode,
Mhm.
we find something.
Mhm.
And you sit and you watch the whole show.
Mhm.
And then at the end, they found in a book that it said that there's something on this island, or they found, like the most minuscule thing. Doesn't We found something. And so that just draws you in to make sure
Right.
you hit those commercials.
Mhm.
That's what it's there for. It's
Yeah.
there. The show is there to draw you in. So you make sure you stay for those commercials
Uh-huh.
so that fucking, whatever they're promoting on the commercial,
Right.
they get usually 2 blocks of commercials for these 30-minute shows.
Mhm.
If it's an hour, man, that's
Yeah,
fucking
you're in for it.
4 commercials.
Yeah.
Um, but that's what usually keys me off in the
Mhm.
beginning. If they say stay to the end,
Mhm.
or in this episode,
Mhm.
our adventurers find something, or just that, oh, I have to watch till the end. That idea really kicks in, and that's probably my number one, like, check. That's what
Yeah.
makes it on the show. Okay, check. Number two is always the like absence of like true evidence.
Yeah.
They can throw like a million like ideas or theories or this or that's out there,
Mhm.
but there is never once yep, oh, we caught ghost, we got
Yeah.
Bigfoot. It's always something like we caught EVP, on a on a microphone.
Mhm.
They're never just walking through the woods and then all of a sudden, like clear as day, they see like something, you know. um yeah, I can't remember on like certain, like especially ghost shows. Ghost hunting, I think, has become this like cultural phenomenon
Mhm.
where there's like a trillion Discovery Plus bonanza of shows where they're finding ghosts. Yeah, walk through a spooky house and you got a ghost show, no
Yeah.
matter what.
Yeah. For me, the big thing with these types of shows is I enjoy history.
Yeah,
Not like, I'm not a history buff or anything like that, but I enjoy history. And for me, the shows that catch me up, like Curse of Oak Island, Skinwalker Ranch, Ancient
Mm-hmm.
Aliens, um, Top Secret UFO Projects, Declassified.
Yeah.
Um, these types of shows that are more in my wheelhouse, you have more like you go more cryptid and things like that. Um, they start with history. They
Yeah.
give you like Ancient Aliens. If you watch Ancient Aliens, they're like the Mayans were in this time period and they lived in these huts in the jungle and this and that, and they built these massive stone structures. They give you this spiel of history,
Right.
and then they'll be like, but aliens.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what the fuck? How do you correlate these two things?
No.
And then they're like, this picture that shows a circle up at the top, almost like where a sun would be in a hieroglyph, aliens. And
Yeah.
you're like, wait, what just happened? I thought I was learning something, and now I'm here. And it happens for every single one of these types of
Yeah.
shows for me. And that's what usually draws me in. I'll start watching them, and just like Skinwalker Ranch, like, oh,
Yeah.
this acreage, this 600 acres or whatever, used to be Navajo land. Oh, cool. I like the natives. Like, let's talk about it. And then the Navajo and the Utes, and they didn't like each other, and this one went with the American military and aliens. And I'm
Yeah.
like, wait, what, how do we keep getting here?
Yeah.
Like, how do we, like, why, what? And so I feel like they draw you in with a logical history
Response. Yeah.
lesson, and then they make outlandish claims out of nowhere, and you're like, well, I'm already in it. I've spent 25 minutes watching this.
Yeah.
I might as well watch the last 10-15 minutes of it. And then it's like, next episode
Yeah.
we find 7 aliens banging 14 cows, and you're like, wait, what? And
Yeah.
then somebody finds a picture that somebody drew of an alien banging a cow, and they're like, see, told you we
Yeah.
found it. And it's just, it's never what it's supposed to be.
Right.
And as frustrating as it is, I watch every damn episode, especially of Skinwalker Ranch and Curse of Oak Island.
Right.
Like, I have watched every episode that is available for me to watch with the streaming platforms that I have, because I'm like, man, maybe they'll find something. But the Oak Island thing is a little bit different, because though it's silly and they never find anything, I kind of
Right.
root for them to find something. And there's no outlandish like alien or cryptid thing. It's just they're treasure hunting.
Right. Right.
It's more on the realm of just, we're treasure hunting, and that's
Right.
interesting to me. They never find anything, but they'll find like a piece of steel nail in there, and they'll be like, this nail is 700 years old. Well, this planet is billions of years old. So
Right.
yeah, eventually you're going to run across something. You don't need to correlate it to finding this treasure, but
Right.
okay.
I
um,
think one thing definitely like that it clues my brain in, like Oak Island,
mhm.
is you're not going to learn about that shit on the TV show. You're going to be
Right,
scrolling through the news or something
right.
on your phone, and all of a sudden you're going to see evidence found on Curse of Oak Island, evidence
Mhm.
found.
Yeah.
And
Well,
that's when you're
I
going to
come
find
across those annoying ass clickbait
the
articles all the time.
clickbaity, yeah, things.
But
Yeah.
yeah, you would find that on larger news
No, I'm
sources.
talking about like, yeah, freaking CNN is
Yeah,
reporting right
right,
now
right,
that
right. The
today
the
in
Luganis brothers finally found their treasure.
yeah,
Yeah.
finally found something. There was like $35 worth of shit there, or like there's like
And they
like
dug like 400 feet in the ground. They found like season 2 of Chappelle Show on
yeah.
DVD. And you're
Yeah.
like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, no, yeah, we should just go up there and bury shit for them.
Right. You
We
know what
should
you're
just
saying?
start making more
The
episodes.
gold chocolate coins, and just
Yeah,
start flicking them in the wells and shit.
yeah.
Like,
Or just spray paint, just get gold spray paint and just
yeah.
spray paint rocks and shit. It's like, wait a minute. We got to get this back analyzed and shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like the Bigfoot stuff. Yeah, if
Mhm.
someone found a North American great ape,
Right.
that's how I'm going to refer to it. I don't think it'll just end up on some sleazeball show on Discovery or AMC or whatever,
Yeah.
But or they'll post the headline and it'll get all popular, and then like 2-3 weeks out, they'll have like the show running.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's just like you said, Skinwalker Ranch. Now, I think Skinwalkers, that lore, that mythos really
Mhm.
built up in the last couple of years. I think TikTok really and like YouTube videos started coming out of like skinwalkers.
I mean,
And
it's definitely always been
yeah,
there, but yeah.
yeah, but I mean, it's more popular to where it's like fucking Slender Man.
Mhm.
Like, it's crazy. They may have had a show called Slenderman. I didn't see one,
No.
right off the bat. I mean, Discovery Plus, they have a paranormal like section that you
Yeah.
can go, and like that's where these videos just breed.
Yeah.
Um,
They breed
but
with themselves.
yeah, yeah, where most of like the people that you see, like, oh my god, I saw him in Finding Mothman, and oh my god, I saw him, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm scientist man, and we're
Mhm.
here today to talk about the myth of the Wendigo or whatever,
Mhm.
especially if some video comes out on the internet that's really like, oh my God, look at that. And I think they even had a show like that where they go on the internet and they find like paranormal videos, and
Right.
then they go and research it,
Right. And
you
they
know?
try to debunk it or give it
Yeah.
credit.
And then they spend like 30 minutes on like a 15-second clip when the
Yeah.
cameraman was kind of like filming it, and then like the second this shit happens, he like puts the camera down,
Yeah.
you know?
With that Skinwalker Ranch show, the main guy that they get in there is somebody that I've seen. When we did the Suicide Forest, I made fun of that guy that I was like, oh, he was a aerospace engineer, now
Yeah.
he's a physicist, and he's the main guy on that damn TV show. They bring his Alabama ass in there or Louisiana ass in there, and he just throws his country accent at everybody. He's like, I'm skeptical. And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, like somebody farts, and he's like, holy shit, I believe in aliens.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, and all the footage that they have, it's just so funny because like I believe in paranormal, I
Oh
believe in
yeah. I
aliens,
believe in
I believe in cryptids for
right.
different reasons other than like that they naturally exist.
Right. Me too.
I believe that people think like they can will these things to become real
Yeah.
if they are fearful enough or consider them enough that they can put the energy out there to make that real.
Right.
Which sounds crazy on its own. I understand that to a lot of people that may be still listening. I understand, but these guys are out there and they've got they brought in cattle, and because this was a working ranch at one point, the Shermans in the 90s had experiences with skinwalkers, and it ruined their business and everything, but
Right.
cattle mutilations were a big thing of this, from not just the skinwalkers but paranormal. Aliens always seem to have something
Alien.
to
Yeah.
do with paranormal and aliens.
Looking for
So
hamburgers.
yeah, dude, yeah, just fresh farm to table,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
so they bring in cattle, and all the cattle bunch up in this one little corner, and they're like, wow, let's get the EVP meter and the magnetron dick sucker, and let's go over here to the corner and test this area. And then they're like, wow, it's magnetic over here. Well, the earth is magnetic, you jackass. That's why your magnetic meter's going off.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, that's a sign of something. We don't know what it is yet. On the next episode,
Yeah. Yeah. Like
and
even
it's
that.
just like, God damn it. I'm going to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
Like,
Even that cow thing. Like I think they bunch up like depending on like if they're cold or
dude, there's a
they
cow,
have a
there's a cow farm that's like 2 seconds from my house.
Yeah.
I can walk out to the end of the street and see it. And the cows are always bunched up.
Yeah.
And they're always in the same 3 spots in this massive field.
Yeah.
They're either right next to the fence, or they're across the field, or they're over this way a little bit. Like they stay bunched up. They're not like necessarily touching, but
Yeah.
they are all right there together. It's herd mentality. There's
Yeah,
a
that's what I was gonna say.
reason
Isn't
for it.
that called just herding?
Yeah, it's just
It-
herd
it-
mentality. Like, it's why fucking wolves travel together. It's why, anything. Like the elephants, they all stick together. It's
right.
just nature. Stop turning it into something.
Yeah,
But
it's not
but
paranormal. Yeah,
yeah,
when you could
yeah.
take like the most mundane shit and make it
Mhm.
paranormal. That's like going back to Ancient Aliens. Yes, I believe that aliens did have like kind of like a hand in some things, but not like everything like
Yeah,
they put on that show. Like
yeah,
it gives some like credit where credit is due to
yeah.
humankind.
Yeah, we use slaves to build those things. God damn it, it wasn't aliens.
Yeah, yeah. It was like, yeah, you got to put some like credit. Is there definitive proof? But this guy thinks there is, So it's
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
on on these shows, there'll always be like that, interview section with like eyewitnesses,
Yeah.
at the local Walmart or whatever,
Mhm.
and they're all
Yeah, yeah.
they're always dressed in those like those same shirts that have like spirals and like the Saints logo kind of
Mhm.
looking thing, and this is my telephone. Um, but they all have like those kind of um looking shirts, and then they give like their descriptive detail of what they saw.
Mhm.
And the only time I've ever heard a descriptive detail that actually sounds legitimate is that phone call from coast to coast where the
Mhm.
guys from Area 51, and then the
Yeah.
lights, the radio station goes down, and
Mhm.
like he's terrified.
Yeah.
He's not like, yeah, I was looking out the window and I saw an alien walk across the field. No, no, no. This guy is fucking terrified of even saying this.
Yeah,
And
and
that's how I feel humans would actually be.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think that the people, especially when you're dealing with aliens and abductions and things like that, the thing that I find that gives people the most credit is their reluctance to talk about it. Because
Yeah.
yes, the government has recently come out in the last year or two and kind of soft fed us, like,
Yeah.
yeah,
So like,
they're real,
right.
and we don't know what they are,
Yeah.
but there's things out there. So when you're dealing with those kinds of things, you're still going to be scrutinized.
Right.
You're still going to be like, oh, you're making that shit up. And w- the reluctancy to go, man, I don't want to tell this story. I don't, I'm going to get made fun of. I might lose my job. That's when somebody is more credible to me than somebody that's like, what is this?
Willy
Discovery?
nilly. Yeah. Just
This is
throwing it out
Discovery
there.
Plus. Hold on, let me make sure my face is right.
Hmm.
Shout out to Billy Joe
Yeah.
and Jolene. I love you. And Mama, I'm coming home after work today. I'll get off at 3. I'll stop by the gas station, get some fried chicken.
So the
All right.
Mothman was right over there at the Sev.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
He had himself Slurpee and a Slim Jim.
Yeah. Yeah. And the people, like, those are the guys that they always find.
Yeah.
They never find somebody like, they never find anybody who is really, they just don't even come off real to me.
Yeah.
And they're all paid actors, so I find it hard to even bother with these shows. And we don't know what kind of aliens are out there. We don't know what kind of uh grays are out there, whites,
right.
whatever you want to call them.
Why's it got to be white?
They're tall whites. Anyways, they we don't know how many different species are out there. We don't know what their ships look like, or all of them at least.
Right.
So it could be any number of these stories are accurate.
Yeah.
But the people, like, you take Terry Lovelace that had the incident at Devil's Den. He waited 60 damn years or like 40 plus years to tell his story because he was a lawyer and a senator
Yeah.
and he didn't want it to ruin his reputation. That gives that guy credibility to me because
Yeah, the
he was
story is
worried.
definitely
Like
feels legit.
yeah, he not only does the story feel legit or some parts of it at least, but he hid it. He held on to it and then was like, okay, I have to get this off my chest now that I'm
Yeah.
retired. I'm going to tell these things. So, the you don't see that guy on these shows.
No.
You see fucking whoever fell out the trailer and wants to make $50 and a 7-Eleven hot dog to be
Right.
on TV and tell a crazy ass story. It's just the same reason you don't see sophisticated people on Jerry Springer. Like they're not paying
Oh,
those.
wow, that's aging you. Jerry Springer.
Yeah.
Is that still a
The,
thing?
the only no, fuck no, it's not a
Oh,
thing.
okay.
What?
No.
I hope not. Isn't Jerry Springer dead? Didn't he die?
No, I don't think he's dead. I
He
think he's
should
still
be.
alive.
But anyways, the only person that was ever on Jerry Springer that was worth shit was fucking Dave Brocky and Peter Steele. Like that was it. So
Well, yeah, Razor Ramon.
was he?
Yeah.
All right, we'll add him
He
to the
gave
cool guy list.
the intercontinental belt, the belt to the kid that had AIDS.
Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
cool.
He called McMahon up and was like, "Hey, I gave the kid the belt." And McMahon was like, "Oh, that's great. We'll have a replacement there for the next show and stuff." I'm glad you did that. Because he thought he was going to get in trouble because he gave the legit IC belt away.
I mean, fuck it.
Yeah.
Razor Ramon was the man. R.I.P.
Cool.
Scott Hall.
Yeah.
But yeah, to bring it back around to the point, you never see legitimate people on these shows because legitimate people aren't going to do this shit. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Not
Like,
on some little like blah blah show kind of deal.
right?
They're going to
Yeah.
wait until they have a credible source
Mm-hmm.
of people that are going to listen to them and not make a huge deal, but know what questions to ask and kind of like, you know, an outlet for their story
Mm-hmm.
where it can feel a little credible,
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then there's like the other type of people on these shows where you can tell they're like, let's say they're investigating a haunted house. And this is the
Mm-hmm.
big one. And like, it's just like, dude, I work here. And it's like,
Yeah.
have you ever seen a spectral spook or paranormal activity here? And the guy's like, yeah, one time I was in the back washing dishes and I felt like a hand. I thought I felt like a hand on me, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'll look behind me and there's nothing there. It's like, oh my god, that is so
Yeah. Yeah.
scary. It's just like,
Yeah.
no, he
Yeah.
probably,
Yeah, I think it was actually the air vent that was directly above me started. It turned on, and I that was probably it. No, 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 it's definitely ghosts. It's definitely ghosts. Shut the
yeah,
fuck up. It's
yeah, yeah,
definitely ghosts.
yeah.
Like, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they do that a lot where
Oh
they
yeah.
edit the show to make
Oh
it look
yeah.
like the Bigfoot, Finding Bigfoot was a good one. Um, and they're interviewing somebody.
Hmm.
He's like, yeah, this guy's gonna bring us to where he saw a sighting,
Hmm.
and they keep asking him questions like stupid questions. So how tall was it? He's
Hmm.
like, yeah, it's probably like and then like he doesn't get a chance to answer. They're like, yeah, probably taller than you, right? Like
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
feeding him.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
Absolutely.
feeding him like, okay, we're playing into the show and stuff,
Right.
but no show, like, especially, I think there's like 20 episodes per season and there's
Uh-huh.
like 6 seasons.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way that they caught that Bigfoot. But
Yeah.
for some reason, in every episode, they hear like knocking on trees. They hear a
Hmm.
growl out in the woods.
Hmm.
They hear rustling, and then they have like their night vision cameras.
Hmm.
And some of those night vision cameras are hilarious because if you watch these shows closely and they have night vision cameras, night vision doesn't cast shadows. So
Yeah.
if you see a shadow being cast, it's just regular film with a green filter over the fucking video. And that's what geeks me out about it. It's just like, I no, it doesn't work like that. Night vision doesn't cast a shadow. It may. My brain says no. It shouldn't cast a shadow. It should be pitch black dark, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Back
But
back to the interview thing. I think it's funny. Like I see a lot of like one show that I got really caught up in was The Unexplained with William Shatner. Now, not only is William Shatner the funniest fucking person to have a host because he is so over dramatic, anyways, just the way he talks and his cadence. And then you add like it could be
yeah.
monsters,
Yeah,
and
but he's like sitting on a couch in Hollywood and they go out and they
right.
put like
Well,
some
well, yeah,
pool
yeah.
out
But
there,
like
you know,
you get
going to the
that guy.
Winchester mansion and shit.
Right, but you get him to do these interviews and then or like you get him to host this show and then they go do this like interview and they get like a handful of legitimate experts and they go well, this house was built in, the 1800s and yeah, there was some sort of cult here, but
Mm-hmm.
cut there was a cult there and
Yeah.
what did they do,
Now
and then
we're
it'll cut
feeding the
back to him.
audience.
Yeah, and then it'll cut back to the guy and he's like, but they turned butter and they didn't do anything, they were just, but or did they, and then it cuts back to like they just keep cutting off the expert, and then I feel like somebody is sitting with the expert going, say it's demons, say it's demons,
Yeah.
say it's demons, say it's demons. And then finally the guy's like, I mean, it's probably not demons. Or could it
It'd
be?
be, yeah.
Like,
You
and it's
heard it
just like,
first.
God
It's
damn it.
demons.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, God damn it, man.
Yeah.
Like, can we just not? But here we are talking about them.
Yeah.
And we watch them. Admittedly, we
They're
watch these
fast
shows.
food. They're like,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
like
yeah, exactly.
being a couch potato is awesome because you get to see this weird shit, but fucking like it is fast food. It provides no nourishment,
Yeah.
no nutritional value,
Mhm.
you know, and then you're gonna shit it out in a couple of days. And that's what we're
Yeah.
doing right now. We're just
Yeah, we're
shitting
shitting it
out.
out. We're diarrheaing
Yeah,
everywhere
just
right now.
that's why the show's called Poop
Yeah,
or Dump
yeah.
or whatever the fuck we called it, you know.
Yeah. We've really got to nail down titles before we start these things. But
Fuck
anyways,
it. Welcome
or
back to
is
Diaper
it?
Babies.
Yeah, well,
Uh I
Town Babysitters
yeah,
Club.
I think that's the one that stuck the longest.
Outside of quarantine movie reviews, that one
Yeah,
did stick the longest.
but yeah, I really do see like certain shows like that, they are just fucking a bag of potato chips. Yeah, I can
Huh?
fucking devour the whole thing.
Yeah.
And no, it's just like stupid TV, but is what they're doing wrong? Or just making
No,
a
I mean
buck
it's
off
just,
of
and I think that when you look at these shows and you just realize that it's just entertainment, they're just doing something
right.
entertaining for the entertainment value. It's okay. But when people are believing these things and like, my uncle, he loved In Search of Bigfoot and
Yeah.
like the Bigfoot mountain men or whatever. He also claimed to have seen a UFO. He had cancer, so it could have been,
Jesus
it,
Christ.
it could have been like, a tumor on his brain or something. But he swears he's seen it.
Or it could
He
have been a
was,
UFO. I mean, I've seen a UFO before.
I mean, it very might have well been, and I would like to believe that that is the case. But when it's somebody like him that's watching because he's expecting them to find something,
Yeah.
it's kind of like it's like QVC to old people. You
Right.
know what I mean? They're like, hey man, we got this jewelry and it's worth $10 billion, but we're gonna mark it down 39.99 for you.
Yeah.
Like,
No, it's $20 worth
and
of jewelry.
yeah, yeah. And it's just it kind of like preys on these things. And I think people get lost in the idea that this is just entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's the qualms that that's my biggest qualm with these shows is like, make sure that you put a disclaimer that says this is just for entertainment purposes. This is just for the
If they fucking
stoners.
do that, then
This
nah,
is just for
they're
the stoners that are eating Taco Bell at 4 a.m. Man, like
yeah,
don't take any of this shit real.
yeah.
Like, but it
It
is.
there is just this kind of weird passion when you're dealing with the paranormal, cryptozoology, things that cannot be easily explained and or captured on, like, you could never have a cop show like this where it's like, this week we tried to, like, 48 hours has more legitimate, like they that's how you kind of do these shows,
Right.
but you could never have a cop show where it's like, well, we went over there and we talked to I seen him. He ran behind the McDonald's and shit.
Mhm.
And then like at the end of the show, it's like, well, we didn't find him, but maybe we will next time. And then at the end of the show, they're like, they never found him.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just like, you can't have that. But
Yeah.
with this, it is so easy just
Yeah.
to pull the people in,
Hmm.
the ones that truly like either A, believe it, or B, want to, like, I want to see what they find.
Right.
And then you end up watching 9 seasons and they never fucking find anything on Oak Island.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, and Oak Island is still running. There's still a new season coming out. And again, like you said, it's like, so during quarantine, that's when I got into Oak Island.
Right.
And I realized after watching, because they were replaying everything because they were releasing the new season. At that time, it was probably like season 7 or something.
Right.
Um, they were releasing the new one, so they were re-showing all of it, and I watched all of it. And and it was like, I still had cable at the time, so I was there at a certain time, like it was the 90s all over again, and I was sitting there waiting for the show to start.
Mm-hmm.
And they always showed last week's episode, then the new episode. And I realized afterwards, like, son of a bitch, I could just watch the season recaps.
Yeah.
Like before the new season, I could just watch the half an hour season recap, and then I don't need to waste all my goddamn time because they don't find anything.
No, they're never gonna.
And I haven't watched it since. I've been clean for like a year and a half.
That's
I've got
good,
nothing.
man.
I did slip up. I read an article, but you know, I for the
Slipping is
most part,
okay. Slipping is okay.
right,
That's how
right.
you
As long
know
as you
that
get back on track. As long as you
yeah.
get back on track.
As long as you know that you could read an article and not go back to the show, because if you went
Yeah.
back,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, I'll watch it. I see something different than I think other people see. See, I look for the humor in it and how many times we can say, what was that? Or
Yeah.
did you hear that? Or
Right. Right. Right.
or those classic like tropes. It's like a drinking game, but I
Yeah.
don't drink.
Yeah.
Just find those like small little moments, like either spooky music or like
Yeah.
boom, 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 or
Yeah.
noise when something intense happens.
Yeah.
Find those moments in these shows, and that's really the couch potato way,
Yeah.
where I'm not gonna like do hardcore, investigative research about, an idea that I saw on a fucking Discovery Plus show.
Well, that's what happened with Skinwalker Ranch, because that's the most recent one that I've watched.
Yeah.
I I I ran across it and I watched the first season of it, and I was like, well, this is absolutely dumb as hell.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm going to keep watching it. And it turned into my own little mystery science theater where I'm just sitting there laughing and making fun of them, because at one point they're shooting rockets into the sky like fucking children. and they're like, we're going to try and stir up some paranormal activity by shooting rockets into the sky. And then they see like what is clearly a star in the middle of the day. It's just a star because it's getting late. It's like 4 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Probably, in the fall where you can kind of start to see stars during the day. You see the moon and stuff. And they film it and they go, it disappeared. And the camera cuts down real hard. And you can clearly see the camera do this motion and then down.
Yeah.
And they go, did you see how quickly it moved off out of there? And it's like, it didn't move. It's a star. It didn't move. You moved the camera to make it look like it flew away. Like, don't do that. Like
Yeah.
you're basically going, hey, are you stupid? Hey, you stupid face at home with your bag of chips and soda. Are you stupid? And and then yeah, I am, because I'm gonna watch the next episode.